Yo, what's good, everybody? Joey J. Ping checking in live, man. Respect my region. Hello, hello. We are back on the official RMR Podcast Network. Today is episode 1 of the RMR World Tour Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Joey J. Ping, respectmyregion.com. Today's episode is going to be all about Costa Rica, Latin America, a country that I don't know much about. And seeing as how we have this world tour series. It's all about showcasing culture. It's all about connecting the dots. It's all about helping people understand and identify cool things to do. Again, the culture, restaurants, food, drink, what's important in these different areas. We're going to be highlighting all this really cool stuff, you guys. And so I'm very excited to be doing this episode. It's the very first episode of the RMR podcast. This is the Hidden Gems series within the podcast network for us here. And today, like I said, we're kicking things off with Costa Rica. This country, y'all, is packed with lush jungles, next-level beaches, crazy adventure spots, and some of the best food you'll ever eat. As I was mentioning, my lady, Costa Rican. So today, it's been really interesting to getting to learn. It's going to be very interesting getting to learn about some of the things she's been talking about, some of the places that she said we're going to go, some of these things that is just so foreign to me. And so some key talking points for us to dive into today. We're not going to be going over too many of the tourist traps. Well, we're going to be really focusing on some of the recommendations made by her and her friends and the locals there in Costa Rica. So first things first, I wanted to pull up something on a map for you guys so you guys can actually see some of the geography for the country of Costa Rica. Because for me, you guys, I actually was ignorant when I first met her. I was it's kind of funny. It's kind of embarrassing. It's kind of super embarrassing. I literally said, "Isn't Costa Rica an island? Isn't it surrounded by like water?" And I said that kind of to be funny and a smartass because I really didn't know ultimately, right? And so I want to share the screen with you guys here so you guys can see. Learn a little bit with me about the country. We're going to go over some fun areas. We're going to go over some activities. It's going to be a brief episode because in 30 minutes, we have another episode to dive into. And so let's dive right in, shall we? Now, as I said, Costa Rica, not an island, folks. Not an island. You have water, 2 different oceans surrounding it. You've got what is the Caribbean over here, which would be, I believe, the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of look at this. Here on Google, it actually says Gulf of America, but as we all know, this is the Gulf of Mexico, folks. So the Gulf of Mexico here, the Atlantic Ocean over here, goes all the way to Costa Rica down there. And then what's crazy is on this side, we actually have the Pacific Ocean, right? The North Pacific Ocean. We've got the equator right here. So Costa Rica right there, man. It is warm, beautiful, tropical, sunny. It is all the things you guys can imagine, right? Look at these beautiful beaches, okay? We're going to just click through this. Look at these beautiful views. Puerto Viejo de Talamanca. This is one of the places. Check this out, you guys. I mean, again, this is just Google Maps, right? Nothing too crazy, but the reality is these are photos taken by real people in these areas, right? And so you think about, again, rainforests, a variety of plants, the beautiful beaches. There is truly a lot to look forward to. So when I was doing my research about Costa Rica, right? When I was doing my research, right, I identified that the main city there is that San Jose, right? Not to be confused with San Jose, California, San Jose, right? So right here, you've got a variety of volcanoes, you've got beautiful waterfalls, you've got rainforests. And so we're going to go on a little journey. We're going to go on a little journey, folks. All right. And we're going to visit some of these places when I'm there. It's going to be about 2 months from now. And so we wanted to prep and plan and get some of these things prepared for. Now, to do that, you guys, you know me. I've got to smoke a quick joint. So we're going to have to roll up a joint while I'm doing some of this presentation. So bear with me, guys. This is going to be a fun episode. This is my first real episode attempt at just streaming, hanging out, doing the research. There's many things that people can do to stream. You guys can game. We can do all kinds of fun stuff. But I really wanted to do the research to really dive in and explore these different countries, guys. We're going to be talking about Colombia, Argentina, Uruguay, Peru, Mexico as part of our Latin American Hidden Gems series. Today, Costa Rica. Okay, we're going to go over some of the rainforest. We're going to talk about a volcano. We're going to talk about a beach. It's going to be a good time. Let me go ahead and get this twisted up, and we will dive in. For now, though, folks, I highly recommend You guys get ready for some incredible, beautiful views. We're going to go over some food. We're going to go over some of the culture. It's going to be a blast, man. I cannot wait. And then we have another episode again next week. This is going to be something that we're doing every single week. I may or may not bring on guests from these different countries for them to showcase their business after I do my little presentation. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. But I can tell you this, folks. It's going to be a good time. You're hanging out with me, smoke along, get your computers out, and start checking out these ticket prices for this stuff, okay? So going back to what we were talking about, Costa Rica is the focus, okay? Costa Rica Hidden Gems, episode 1. First off, guys, two coasts, Caribbean vibes on one side, Pacific surf culture on the other. The Pacific Ocean on the left, the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico on the right. What is in between? What is all of in between these oceans for Costa Rica, right? What goes on in between each of these areas? Well, let's go ahead and talk about it, shall we? First off, volcanoes, rainforests, tons of food, a variety of cities and towns. There's a lot to check out, all right? No joke. There is a lot to check out. So up first, where should we adventure to, okay? Where should we adventure, you guys? All right. Let's go, let's go to the cloud forest. What do you guys think about that, huh? Let's go to the cloud forest. Cloud forest, Costa Rica. Where is that at, huh? All right. So Hotel Senda Monteverde over here. Monteverde, the town. As you guys can see, we've got the Monteverde cloud forest right there. Holy cow. Look at this. We talk about looking up the different types of adventures that we can do. Oh, here's a video. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's a real hanging bridge through a rainforest, you guys. Look at that. Look at those views. Look how thick and dense that is. Listen to the sounds. How incredible is that? Some more photos. Look at the beauty of this tree here. Again, Monteverde Cloud Forest. Beautiful jungle, trails, waterfalls. Uh-oh. Look at the hummingbirds. Absolutely incredible. Guys, these are the things that we've got to talk about. This is the culture that we've got to truly showcase. Okay, you guys? It's all about learning more. It's all about highlighting different cultures, different places. And this is an example of exactly that. You know what I'm saying? Like, how incredible is that? Now, let's go ahead and slide over to some of the volcanoes. What do you guys think about that? I'm from Washington, right? They say that Costa Rica has tons of volcanoes. And as you guys can see, look at this. Orosi Volcano, Rincon de la Vieja Volcano, Parque National Volcan Tenorio, Monteverde, Cerro Pelado, Volcan Viejo, Barva Volcano, Turrialba Volcano. There is a ton of volcanoes throughout this. And I haven't even looked. There's literally Volcan Arenal National Park. That was actually on my list, you guys. That was on my list to talk about. Look at this. You guys can see from the beauty within the park here, the different volcanoes. Look at this. Let's check this out. Shout out this person yawning. How incredible is that? Look at that. Look at those views. Wow. Look at these. Oh my gosh. Absolutely incredible. Look at that. Wouldn't you? Come on. This is what I'm talking about, folks. You wouldn't even know this existed unless there was people dedicated to highlighting this, you guys, that were dedicated to traveling here, that were committed to exploring this. Parque Nacional Volcan Arenal. Look at this. Look at these giant trees. Holy cow. Well, what do we got going on? Driving up the view. You guys, this is what it's all about. It's about setting goals for yourself. It's about finding the hidden gems. It's about going to these different places, making it a point in your life to getting out and exploring the culture. Oh, some exotic wildlife. Bienvenidos. Look at the lookout tower here. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. A wonderful lake. to explore the trees. So what do we got here, huh? 30 seconds of walking around. Uh-oh.
Sonidos de depredador.
Wow. Just hear those birds back there? It's crazy. This is crazy. Like we're going through a jungle. Oh yeah, excuse us. We're passing on the right. Excuse me. Uh-huh. 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 Let's go. Okay. Yeah, that's super dope. Okay, so again, the volcanoes. Look at the water, some of the wildlife. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, we walked through the cloud forest. We explored a little bit of volcano there. As you guys can see, there's some straight up, right? There's some straight up jungle energy, right? Like straight up, where's the dinosaurs? Where's the exotic wildlife? They're everywhere, right? It's absolutely crazy. Costa Rica, so much to look forward to on the trip, so many potential adventures. And recent news, Costa Rica government, not only is medical cannabis allowed there, no rec, not for tourists, nothing from the US or America transfers over there if you're a medical patient. It's Costa Ricans only for their medical program. But the reality is legislation. This is coming out of Benzinga. Shout out to Javier Hassi and the team over there. The government there in Costa Rica is going to allow them to have medical marijuana in pharmacies there. So they'll go through the pharmacy model to get their products, which is cool because they're going to import products from other countries and put them in the pharmacy. So we're going to have some kind of world market style in these pharmacies. Excuse me, and that creates a very interesting, a very exciting opportunity for just the locals there to be able to have access to medical cannabis and ultimately be able to start growing that industry that I directed. Now, recently they did vote for recreational cannabis there in Costa Rica. It got turned down 5-3 in the vote. Whatever the parliament thing is there, the government or whatever it is there that oversees that, it got rejected due to that voting system that they have in place, whatever that looks like. And so we're excited to see how that changes. But more importantly than all that, Costa Rica today is perfectly fine as it is in many ways, right? But so let's go ahead and dive back in to the food, drink, and fun adventures and activities that we can do there in Costa Rica. Okay, now part of this is where are we going to stay, right? Where are we going to stay? Where are we going to go eat? What are some of the activities that we're going to go do? So I'm gonna quickly go over some of these places. Okay, there is a variety of options. First up, the Treehouse Lodge. Okay, first up, the Treehouse Lodge. Let's pull that up for you guys. Costa Rica. All right, you guys. This right here, it's a deal. Look at this. This comes recommended to me because people know that I come from the Northwest. They know that I like staying in these cabins. They know that I'm always looking for these crazy hotel experiences. And to me, this is one of the options. Look at the views. Experience it with me real quick. Look at that rich wood, spiral staircase. These rooms, again, with the rich wood, absolutely an experience. Look, we've got a couple people here in a hot tub. That fresh fruit there on the table. Again, the lush jungle right around you. Look at this with the mosquito nets, right? So you can sleep knowing that you're a little bit safer there. And then we've got, looks like the team here. Shout out those iguanas and those structures there. How beautiful is that? And again, with the lush jungles. So this would be an example of somewhere you'd want to stay. All right. A beautiful experience. Let's go ahead and look at where that's at. Looks like it's on the Atlantic Ocean Caribbean side of Costa Rica, over here towards Panama, right? Super beautiful. Again, on the southern side, definitely warm, definitely an incredible option for you guys to consider. Okay. Now we're going to take it to a different direction. We're going to go to a co-working space with surfing access and an all-day party vibe. This is going to be a little bit more for us Americans going places, right? For us to try to, hang out, have a good time, to be working. and that's going to be at Salina Santa Teresa. Okay, Salina Santa Teresa. Mm-hmm. All right, let's check this out. Looks like it's definitely more of that resort style experience. You know, I said I wasn't going to focus too much on the the super touristy spots, but this would be an example of a place young people or workers can go to experience music, working, on-site accommodations, a true resort style vibe. Now, again, we chose this, guys, because I've been doing a ton of research in Latin America about cannabis, about things to do, places to go, things to eat, activities to partake in. And as you can see, there's a variety of experiences available. I mean, this is your classic Costa Rican resort, lush jungle, right? Vibes, wood, pool, sun deck, right? This is your classic co-working space. This gives a little bit of really, really nice elite level luxury resort hostel vibes, right? So again, two different types of options there. You can obviously go a little bit crazier in terms of how much, what you want to do and where you want to go. Now, guys, we're going to slide into the food section of this. Costa Rican food is absolutely incredible. We've got a couple of different locations that we want to really showcase here. The first here being the Sequal Restaurante. Let me go ahead and slide on to Instagram. I've got their I just want to show what they've got, man. Like, there is some incredible food available. Sequoia was voted number 25 in the top 50 restaurants in Latin America. So this is going to be a really, really nice opportunity to introduce you guys to some cool food real quick. So again, we've got another episode coming up here shortly, so I'm going to briefly go through this one. This was the top of my list. So my number one recommendation is obviously a top 50 restaurant in Latin America. This is somewhere that as soon as we get to Costa Rica, we have to go. My Spanish isn't good enough to know what all these things are, so I'm strictly going based off the food and the ingredients and the images. And as you can see, from whatever oyster dish this is right here to those other fruits and vegetables, a variety of events. It's it's an experience that I very much look forward to. Something for you guys all to consider. Again, expanding your palate, expanding their culture. Wow, look at this, like a starfish. Holy cow! There's just when you think about other cultures, there's just more there's more out there, you guys. And this is an example of a top tier restaurant there in Costa Rica that we recommend. Another one, it's funny. This one was actually another one there on the list for me. I was doing a deep dive on like places I wanted to go, and I don't eat super duper exotic meals, but it was this. There it is. This photo I saw the other day was like, oh my gosh, whatever's going on here in terms of flavors and the beauty and the colors, like some of this stuff I definitely wouldn't eat. But this looks beautiful enough that I would damn near try it. And that's what's so crazy is it's like, usually I eat with my eyes and I play it safe. But when I think about some of these dishes in these other countries, you guys, and I think about it, it's only going to get crazier once we get into the Asian countries with what they eat in terms of like seafood. It's only going to get more wild, and as we get more and more out there, it's going to get less and less beautiful and more nature. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's going to be super cool as we continue to explore this, you guys. It is going to be a journey. Now, I've got one more section for you guys that I want to briefly slide into. It's the hidden gem experience sections, the featured experiences. Okay. So in Costa Rica, there is wonderful surfing. So first and foremost, you got to go out to Tamarindo and you guys got to get out to the surf in those areas. That's what has been communicated to me time and time again is the surfing is on the Pacific coast, and The Caribbean has really, really tropical vibes over there. Not to say that they don't both have it, right? But you kind of do different activities depending on where you're at. And so Tamarindo is one of the places that's on my list. Additionally to that, the Tamarindo night market. And if I'm butchering these words, I'm sorry for my gringo-ness, everybody. I'm, you know, I'm trying here. I'm trying. All right, here we go. Hold on. Let's get this pulled up on the Instagram again. And I can only do so much research, right? And I'm sharing content with you guys the same way that I would look anything up. Okay. So we're going to share this over for y'all so you can check it out. Again, we are exploring Costa Rica, and right now we're going to dive into some of the activities. If you go surfing in Tamarindo, you've got to go to the night market. And I pulled up this and I was like, yo, what's one of my favorite things to discover? Live music. So as you look through the night market here, right? Performances, tons of music, consistent posts, which means they do this. This is what they do. They do this all the time. Food, music, look, booths, right? And they've been doing this. Look, this is almost 2 years ago, right? This is something that's been around, something you can count on. It would be great vibes. Look at this. Acrobats. Come on, dude. You're telling me that if you went on a tropical trip and you happen to see acrobats and pull up on a little marketplace like this, you're not going to be excited to walk around, see the little small businesses and small farmers. You're not going to be excited to support whoever this wonderful lady is right here with her topicals. Like, come on. This is what it's all about. Different flavors, different strokes for different folks. Plus, music and crocodiles. You never know when you're going to see a crocodile. How crazy is that, you guys? He's got a croc there, literally wild. Okay, now that's the first hidden gem I have is the Tamarindo night market. Now the second thing that I thought was really, really cool was the Monteverde Extreme Park. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull that up for y'all. And I appreciate you, whoever's watching, for hanging out. I hope you guys learn and find something and get some value out of this. Okay. Now, one of the things that I've always wanted to do in my life, and I've got a fear of heights, folks, but one of the things that I always want to do in my life is I wanted it just to be stoned or even on mushrooms, and I wanted to be ziplining. So this one caught my eye. It's the longest zipline canopy in Costa Rica, right? And it was these photos here that really just scared the hell out of me, right? In terms of like how high up the people are. But I thought, man, this is Costa Rica. This is the perfect time for me to do something like this where I'm flying through a tunnel and I'm going through different rainforests and I could wear my Raiders jerseys, you know? And so for me, this was one of the top things on my list, a hidden gem there in Costa Rica that I wanted to highlight for you guys. Not super expensive. I mean, obviously that was back in the day, but not super expensive by the looks of it. And ultimately a fun activity for the fam, a fun activity if you're a tourist, fun activity for you to go do if you're just looking for something to go do. You know, just ultimately super cool to me that this kind of stuff is available and readily available across that country. Might be cheesy, might be lame, but these are things that I've not done. And I know you could probably go up in Washington and zip line. You can probably go to, Hawaii and zip line. You can go, I'm sure, here in Cali and do it. But we're talking about international travel. We're talking about doing it in real rainforest, right? We're talking about really doing it around in a truly exotic fashion. And unfortunately, there's nothing super exotic about the mainland United States. Respect to Florida, love the swamp culture. It's just not. In all respect to California, it's just not the same level of tropical. And all due respect to Hawaii. Hawaii is probably the only thing that's even close to that. So, but that's not the mainland, like I'm saying. So, big shout out to Costa Rica. Big shout out to what they've created there. There's ultimately, guys, the country's stacked with fire spots. We've just scratched the surface here on today's episode. We've got the full travel guide available on respectmyregion.com. I encourage you guys to go check out that full episode. We're going to go ahead and drop some links to places to book. We typically book booking.com, Expedia. We obviously look up places on Airbnb. So those are just some brands and some quick places for you guys to check out. In terms of experiences, Airbnb has more experiences in these places. We also looked at Viator and we looked at Get Your Find the Experiences. In terms of travel gear that you're going to need for these things, you're going to need to protect your phone. You're going to need to, at least when you get there, you're going to need to protect yourself. I think that's super important, to reminder that all these countries are different, and wherever you're from is not like that. So it's different everywhere. Things to bring: GoPro, drones, DJI equipment, cell phone, travel bags, stuff to protect it, a water bag, things like that. Airlines that we found, JetBlue, United, Avianca, those are great places for you guys to start. And again, these are tips to help you guys get rocking and rolling to make your guys' next trip to Latin America. And if you go to Costa Rica, this should help you have a guaranteed good time. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. My name is Joey J. Ping, respectmyregion.com. And this is our very first episode of the RMR World Tour and our Hidden Gems series featuring Costa Rica. I love you guys. We'll see you on the next episode.